Welcome to Stonewatch. This is my opening spoiler discussion for Marvel Studios' She-Hulk Attorney at Law Episode 2. And if you haven't already, please smash the subscribe button and click on that bell so you get notified for future videos. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And yes, Episode 2 of She-Hulk has dropped. Now they're entitled this one Superhuman Law. Now Jessica Gao and Kat Cairo coming back to write and direct the second episode. I think they did a fantastic job, but I kind of wish they would have dropped the first two episodes on the same day, because we had the origin story in Episode 1, and then we have like what the tone and show is going to be actually all about in Episode 2. I mean, it is what it is at this point. They didn't drop them both at the same time because I kind of wish they did. I mean, especially if you go with, unfortunately, the runtime for this week's episode was less than last week's episode. Now, Episode 1, we had a runtime of 38 minutes before you minus everything out. This week, this one has a runtime of 31 minutes before you minus everything out. Now, we had like almost like a minute and 45 seconds for the recap and the Marvel title card, and then we had 8 minutes of credits. But there was another post-credit scene at the end of this one too. Now, according to what I've heard from other people who have seen the first 4 episodes, said there's a credit scene at the end of every single episode. Now, I don't know if they're going to do that for all 9 of them, but I think it's kind of cool that they're doing it at least for the first 4. I mean, the ones that we've gotten so far doesn't really feed into the overall MCU. It just kind of like just adds more to this story. They could have left it in there and not had any credit scenes, to be quite honest with you. But however, I think it is kind of cool. I mean, we had the Captain America virgin reveal.
Steve Rogers is not a virgin. He lost his virginity to a girl in 1943 on the USO tour.
Yes, I knew it.
You're not drunk?
Captain America!
In the first post-credit scene, in this one, we see She-Hulk helping out the family, like hanging up the big, huge TV. So I thought that was kind of funny. Now, I gotta say, I kind of like the family dynamic that they had in this series as much as the one that they had in Miss Marvel. Almost. But we only had just like a taste of it this week. I mean, in Miss Marvel, we got a taste of it like in the first episode, like right at the very beginning. This one, it kind of like it kind of happens afterwards, after we kind of get the thing all set up. Now, we pick up right where we left off from Episode 1. Now that everybody knows that Jennifer Walters is She-Hulk, the repercussions is coming down the pike. She ends up getting fired from her job from the DA's office because they end up losing the case because they think that the jury felt biased because it helped them by saving their lives from Titania's rampage in the courtroom there. So, which is technically is true, but then that allowed the other lawyers to say, hey, they're automatically biased no matter what. They're going to like side with her. So they end up losing that case. And because of that, she ended up losing her job. Now, the boss told her that, you did the right thing, but unfortunately you become like a liability to the district attorney's office, and we just can't have this. So we got to let you go. Then we get a montage of her trying to apply at other law firms and stuff like that. They don't say who they are, but the background behind her changes, and each time it does, it seems like the light gets lower and lower as she keeps on hearing nope, can't help you, nope. Now, when we get to this one part where she's on the couch with her friend from the other law office and she's looking at jobs online, we get our first hint at a little bit of an Easter egg for Mr. Wolverine from the X-Men. Now, the first time I saw this episode, I totally missed it. But then I watched the breakdown video over there at Screen Crush, and he pointed out where it was. I'm like, oh man. Because I'm like, when I saw the thumbnail and it said the reference to Wolverine, I'm like, I didn't see that. What are you talking about? And then when he pointed out, I'm going, oh, okay. Now, this reference is made to the X-Men movie that came out in 2000. Now, I don't think this means that movie now is MCU canon. So all you people out there, just relax. I think it's just a quick little Easter egg to Wolverine, because we know he is coming, right? We know for a fact that Wolverine is going to be in the MCU. When, we're not really sure, but I don't think this is like a complete setup to that. I mean, other people are already saying that, oh man, he's going to be showing up in this show. I don't think so. I think that was just a cool little Easter egg, right? And also at the same time, when we got that Easter egg, we see that we get our first mention of the events of the Eternals in here. Like right there, it says right below the thing for Wolverine about why is there a big, huge person sticking out of the water, right? I mean, it's not a lot. It's not like they were showing like video clips or anything, but it has finally been mentioned, so it's something. After having no luck finding a new job, she finds out she gets invited over to the parents' house for a family dinner. Now, I thought this scene was pretty damn good. Now, it's not exactly the same way like it was for Miss Marvel, but I still liked it nonetheless. And none other than Mark Lynn Baker, that's right.
Larry Appleton, that's me.
cousin Larry from Perfect Strangers is playing the dad in this, and he was so damn awesome, especially like after they were having the meal and everything, and he kept on asking about what does Hawkeye do with the arrows, and I thought that was pretty damn funny. But then he pulls her to his side and being a dad and saying, "How are you doing, kid?" And he gives her like the with great power comes responsibility like type speech, and then she's at the bar and she runs to the man pretty much responsible for her losing her job in the first place, now wanting to hire her. Now that is Holden Holloway, being played by the actor Steve Coulter. Now, I believe in the comics, according to the breakdown videos I've watched for this thing so far, said that in the comics, he actually wanted to hire Jennifer Walters for his law firm, but in the comics, he wanted her to be in human form, where in the show, they want her to be in Hulk form at all times.
We just started a superhuman law division, and I want you, well, the She-Hulk, to be the face of it.
But I thought that distinction was kind of cool and kind of interesting. I thought this was kind of funny as she was getting settled in her new office with her friend there. This guy shows up who's also part of the superhuman division.
It's got some office supplies to get you started, snacks, and a map to the best bathroom for pooping.
Thank you.
Now, every time I see this scene, it makes me laugh. I mean, that's just the weirdest thing that you could do. I thought it was pretty funny when I was watching the credits and they actually came up again in there and I'm like, with the map and everything, I thought that was hilarious, man. Just hilarious. We found out her first case is representing Emil Blonsky, a.k.a.
an abomination.
Now she goes to visit him in prison. It's being run by the Department of Damage Control. So again, these guys pop up. I mean, I'm not really familiar when these guys actually took over, but it seems ever since the events of Endgame, these guys are all over the damn place. So apparently they took over where S.H.I.E.L.D. left off, right? So now I have to admit, he brought up a really compelling case on why he probably shouldn't be in there anymore, because like he was hired by the U.S. government to track down and take out the Hulk. Now that's in reference to the Incredible Hulk movie starring Ed Norton back in 2008. So, and he makes it, he's been in prison this whole damn time. He was told to do it. He was pretty much like, being taken over by the super soldier serum. But we found out from the doctor from Captain America First Avenger.
The serum amplifies everything that is inside, so good becomes great. Bad becomes worse. This is why you were chosen. Because a strong man who has known power all his life may lose respect for that power. But a weak man knows the value of strength and knows compassion. Thanks.
Now, after he's done laying out his case and why he should be let out and what have you, I thought it was kind of interesting that he wanted to spend time with
7 soulmates that I met through the prison pen pal program that I want to start a new life with.
I thought he was actually talking about actual women, but everybody online is speculating that he's talking about the Thunderbolts. Now, we know we're going to get a Thunderbolts movie here in the MCU Phase 5, because that's what was announced at Comic-Con a couple weeks ago, right? So we know that's coming. So maybe that's what he's trying to set up. I mean, maybe he hasn't really made amends of what he did, what was wrong back in the events in Incredible Hulk from 2008, and he just wants to get out so he can go do whatever he's going to do with that team. Maybe. I mean, we know we're going to get that movie, so maybe we'll find out. But she says she's got to think about it, so she goes home. And while she's at home, she calls up her cousin Bruce. Now, I thought this was pretty damn funny and pretty damn interesting in what we got when we saw Hulk this week, because after she tells him, like, he's got a compelling case, he might be able to get out, and then Hulk says this.
That fight was so many years ago. I'm a completely different person now, literally.
But what happens after that, he takes off. Now, he's in that Sicarian spaceship that we saw last week in episode 1. So I want to know, where is he going? When are we going to see him again, right? Now, everybody online is speculating this was setting up a World War Hulk movie. Maybe. But as of right now, Universal still owns the distribution rights to Hulk, so I don't think that's going to happen. But however, I did see an article over on the Direct that says that there was some kind of deal that Disney and Universal made back during the Incredible Hulk movie. That there'd be like a 15-year period, and after that, I think the rights go back over to Disney when that's all said and done. If that's the case, that could possibly come expiring here in June of 2023. So if that is true, then we could possibly see another solo Hulk movie being put out by MCU themselves, so they don't have to share anything with Universal. But I haven't heard anything concrete about that quite yet, so I'll have to get back to you on that one. But that is very damn interesting if that is true. Now, they're also saying that if he is going out there, apparently he had a son named Scar. I don't know anything about that character, but he was also part of the Young Avengers at some point, which I think they've been setting up the Young Avengers here ever since they started doing these Disney Plus shows. I mean, we got to see the twins in WandaVision. We got to see young Loki. We've got Eli Bradley from the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. Of course, Miss Marvel and Kate Bishop on the Hawkeye series. On the movie side, we had America Chavez and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. You know what I'm saying? All the thing that we were missing was Hulkling, but I don't think that's the same thing. So I don't know. And then she calls Holloway to tell him that she decided to take the job. He says, that's great. You might want to turn on the news. And when she does turn on the news,
Attorney, after shocking footage leaked showing the Abomination participating in what appears to be an underground fight club after having somehow escaped from prison. Oh, that sucks.
now that's the cage match that we saw in Shang-Chi, which makes this show and that movie a lot closer in the timeline than we originally thought, because I believe it was in that Screen Rant article saying that this takes place 8 months after the events of Endgame. So I don't know how closer in the timeline this is compared to Shang-Chi, but seeing that fight now in the clip. But then again, that fight could have took place before she actually met Abomination, right? But we're going to find out more about that here in the next couple episodes, I think. And that is the cliffhanger. This episode ends this week, right? I can't wait to see what they do in episode 3. I mean, they're going to have to address this. Now, I'm hoping that they just keep this thing going right along, but I can't wait to see what they do, right? So, did you see the second episode of She-Hulk? Let me know in the comments down below. So far, where does this rank with you with all the other MCU shows we've gotten so far? I don't know where I rank it just quite yet with the other MCU shows. I'm going to have to wait till this thing's all said and done before I can say, okay, this is where it's going to sit with all the other MCU shows. You know what I mean? But so far, I'm digging it. The only thing I'm not liking is the runtime. I wish I can keep it close to 30 minutes. And other than that, I'm a happy camper. So let me know what you think in the comments down below.